Manpower planning is interchangeably used with human resource planning. So MPP is generally also used HRP, and now since we talk about human resources all the time, the new jargon, the new fad in the management is human resources, and the importance of which is immense. We generally use it more as HRP. So let me tell you one thing before we even go ahead with any of the slides or any of the course flow. The three major steps in talent acquisition is manpower planning or HRP, human resource planning, whatever you call that we have explained just now, followed by recruitment, followed by selection. That's how the process flow is. And why that? Because first you plan. Human resource planning or manpower planning is all about planning. Before you actually go ahead with the recruitment process, you must do the homework. And this is the bit of a homework that is called HRP. Then we move into recruitment per se, and then recruitment is then followed by selecting the best candidate or the best prospective employee, so to say, for your organization, for your establishment. And then he is placed at the proper place, followed by inductions, orientations, etc. Then he gets into the system. That's how a person comes and gets inducted into the system. So this is how the flow should be ideally in an organization, in a professional setup. So let's understand what is MPP all about, or what is HRP? How do we go about, even before doing the recruitment, how do we go about doing HRP? Let us understand a bit about it. Needless to mention, human resource planning is an activity which precedes recruitment, and manpower planning in line with the business plan is very important for an organizational, is the first step in the talent acquisition process. Now, this process or this HRP or MPP basically deals with analyzing your workforce content. What is your current workforce? What is your current manpower strength? What is your existing manpower strength? What is its composition? Meaning thereby, what are the various skill sets available? Have you mapped it? Have you recorded it somewhere? Is there any database which contains your existing workforce skill set, which captures all the details of the existing manpower that is there in your organization, basis which you will be able to take a call and decide as to how much to hire, when to hire, what kind of people to hire going forward. So manpower planning is basically analyzing your current workforce, the composition and the content, to take care of your future requirements so that business goals, business objectives are met. Right? Clear? Absolutely clear? Let's move ahead. Manpower planning, what are the essential features of it? Basically, several questions you ask related to MPP, which will automatically generate answers, and they are in a way indicatives of or directives of HRP. First, how many staff do we have, or how many staff do we actually need as on date? So if there is a hiring mandate that is given, you first analyze as to how many people you have. Do you need more? Or just because somebody has said, maybe some line function, maybe marketing, or maybe production, or maybe finance, maybe accounts for that matter, they have asked you, if they have given you a mandate, look, we need about 7 people, 3 in accounts, 4 to be in finance, so that we need to strengthen our FNA, our finance and accounts department for that matter. You just can't open the floodgates of hiring. You need to understand, do we have such kind of people already available with us? How much to add? Where to add? How are they distributed? Are they all based in the head office? Are they all based at our zonal office? Assuming, of course, your office is multi-location. For example, if you are in an MNC for that matter, you may have branches, you may have zones, you may have regions, right? So do we have such kind of people already sitting or already working in some region or some branch which we can tap and utilize effectively? What is the age profile that we are looking at? Are we looking at very senior people in the organization, or are we looking at, for example, a medical rep, etc., or a call center executive in a BPO? The typical age profile in such organizations is, let us say, about say 19 to say 25. Typically, the average age for that CRE, a customer response executive or a call center executive, which is there in BPO industries, in an IT enabled sector. You look at these people, essentially they are in the age group of 19 to 27. So what is the age profile? Do you have such people already available? You must also understand what is the manpower that you will require in the next 1 year, or next 3 years, or maybe in the next 5 years for that matter. So you should have that plan ready. Business plan should be ready. Manpower planning is a derivative of business plan. If you do not have a business plan, better do not start MPP or HRP, whatever you call it, unless you have a firmed up business plan, a concrete business plan. Do not start MPP. And then you must also factor attrition. How many people would leave? Attrition is actually a term used for separations. Separations could be through many ways: forced attrition or voluntary resignation, termination of services. All these will lead to separation. We can talk about it sometime later. Let's not talk about separations. We are actually in the hiring mode. So let's not talk about it. But yes, nonetheless, we need to factor what will be the people leaving, because if you just look at 7 people and you need to hire 7 people and you just interview 7 people, it may so happen that all 7 may not join, all 7 may not be interested, maybe few of them may be interested, maybe all 7 may join but 2 may leave within 2 months time. So you are again back to recruitment. So how many people would attrite, how many people would separate from the organization? That buffer or that cushioning has to be done. That's all about planning. That is a very essential feature of planning, right? So let's go on and let us crystallize on what is, how do you define after understanding. HRP is essentially a homework kind of a thing before you actually open the floodgates of recruitment. That's what we said earlier as well. So let's try to define. It is a process by which management ensures that there are right people at the right place to take care of the objectives that we have defined, so that organizational goals are met. Correct? If you do not have the right people at the right place, obviously organizational goals cannot be met. For example, if you need a person, a person who is very good in accounting, in tally, etc., but you have placed a person who has got very good marketing skills or very good convincing skills. He speaks very well. He communicates very well. He likes meeting people. He has a flair for meeting people, and you have put him in accounts just because he has done some BCom course or relevant course. You have put him there, so he will be a misfit. Neither the organization will get benefited, nor the person or the employee sitting there will grow in the system, and therefore eventually sooner or later he is going to fall out. He or she would fall out, and therefore right people at the right place is most important. Correct? Coleman also defines it incidentally. He says that the process of determining manpower requirement and how to meet those requirements to carry out your complete integrated plan of organization is actually a part of HRP, an integral part of HRP. This can also be a definition of HRP, where determining the process by which you determine the manpower requirements, how much manpower is required and how to meet these requirements, how to go about meeting this, where do I get this manpower so as to fulfill my objectives. Correct? This is human resource planning. Welter incidentally also gives another definition, which is a very obvious one: current workforce to the desired workforce. These are the 2 points which he explains. Yeah, it's a process by which an organization should start its journey from its existing workforce, where I am today. What is my workforce position? What is my manpower strength today? And what do I need to achieve? Where it should be? So it's a journey from the existing to the current, existing or the current workforce to the desired workforce of the manpower position. That is called HRP. So the right kind of people at the right place and the right number of people at the right time will actually lead to organizational benefit. For example, let's take an example here which will be very clear. I say that I get a mandate from a department, from any function, for example, maybe marketing, domestic marketing or international marketing for that matter, to hire say about 7 people, let's say 7 people. Now, just because I got a mandate, should I start hiring without even checking out whether I have these skills, people with such skill sets already present? The desired requirement could be, we need people with 2 to 3 years of strong domestic market, which have a strong hold on the domestic market, especially in the pharmaceutical segment. If you look at it, for example, do you start hiring? Don't you, wouldn't you like to look at the these such people or such skill sets already present in the organization? If they are present in some regions or branches, wouldn't you like to tap them and bring it to your exact place of requirement? So right people, right place, right number of people is very important. The second shade of this example could be how much to hire. Right number. For example, if you know that I need 4 people or 7 people in international marketing or domestic marketing, and I only hire 7 people. Good, because I am not hiring anything extra, anybody extra. But to have this domestic marketing completely manned properly, because this is very critical for the organization, and therefore you must have 1 or 2 people extra. In the sense, with the this will actually come out or emerge from a trend which you see that over a period of 3 months, over a period of 5 months, 1 or 2 people leave. That's the trend. And therefore, to have a long term sustainability without much distractions, you may have add ons to the department. And therefore, the right sizing is very important. And this is what planning talks about.